cat. Everybody laughing.
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Tonight kicks off my third season here at Sky 13. And once again, just want to thank everyone who helps make it possible. That would be Speedo and Nancy and Zach and all of you who watch either live or on YouTube. I really appreciate everyone's support. My guests have been fabulous. Tonight, obviously, it's just me, but you'll find out kind of why in a minute or two. I want to start with just a reminder. This is pre-4th of July weekend. Lots of fireworks going on. My neighborhood's been like a war zone. My dogs don't handle it well. I don't know. Some people's do, some people's don't. But if your dogs don't, I know I talked about this at length last weekend, protect them. Give them a safe haven. Be patient. Don't leave them outside. Their fears are real. Seek out some sort of a remedy for their anxiety. Do something, but don't leave them in a vulnerable position. Don't assume that, don't take their behavior for granted, because as they say, it's a statistic that, the shelters are the most busy on July 5th. And that's because all these dogs run away and the pounds, fill up with people's dogs who got scared. Don't let your dog be a statistic. And that's my soapbox for the evening, folks. Anyway, we are just about 2 weeks away from my birthday. And last year, I wrote a column that aired the night before my birthday. We were in a crunch in Waterbury. And unfortunately, it was life or death. And pretty much in my column, I asked, my one birthday wish was to save those dogs from the Waterbury Pound, not to let them die on my birthday. And everybody stepped up to the plate, and it was, the most wonderful birthday present that I ever could have gotten. And as a matter of fact, I know I've talked about this before, it was the catalyst for becoming friends with Deidre, who you've seen on the show a time or two. She was representing a rescue, and she went down there and she took a dog because I asked someone to, and or I was asking everyone to pitch in. And she went down, took a dog, posted all over Facebook that it was in honor of my birthday, and like I say, that was the catalyst for our friendship. And I'll never forget the wonderful way that made me feel. I'm not a person who wants stuff. I'm not, if I want a little treat for myself, I'll deal with it. Again, 2 weeks before my birthday, and I'm asking for everyone's help on a mission. There are a few dogs out there who are urgent. There's one who only has a matter of days left to live. There are some who have been in the pounds far too long for it to be fair to them. And what I would like is for everyone to join me on a mission to have them all placed by my birthday, which is in roughly 2 weeks. So by the time you see me again in 2 weeks, I would love to know that these dogs are safe, and I would like to enlist your help in making that happen. It's the only thing I can ask for. It's not an ego trip. It's not for the glory of it. It's for the animals. So I'd love to know if you were able to adopt one of these guys. I'd love to know if you were able to find someone to adopt one of these guys. There's no picture board tonight. I'm just going to pretty much talk about them. The picture board makes it too easy. For those of you on Facebook, I want you to go to Pound Posse Presents page, and I want you to look at these dogs. All but one right now I think is posted there because, sometimes on Facebook, if it's somebody's private picture, you can't share it to a public wall or whatever. I got to work on that one. But I want you to go to my page, Pound Posse Presents, and I want you to look at the pictures of these dogs, and I want you to share them. I want you to work them like crazy and help me get them homes, because they deserve it, and it's all I'm asking is to save as many of these dogs. I'd love to have all of them safe within 2 weeks' time. And I don't think that that's asking too much. And I know that if everybody bands together, like I've really seen people do, that we can do it. I know we can. Gonna start with January, who is in the Bristol Pound. He's literally been in the pound since January. The dogs in Bristol don't get much. They don't get out. They don't really, you know, they're stuck there. They really have no interaction. It's a sad existence. And if you think about, this dog has literally been there since, I believe, middle of January. That's really no way for this dog to have had to live. His owner, I guess, went to jail. A friend was supposed to come pick him up and keep him for him. The guy never showed up, or the friend never showed up. So this poor dog got left high and dry. It wasn't like, you know, he was a stray. It wasn't like he was uncared for. I mean, you've got to imagine this person may or may not care who's incarcerated, but it's a moot point if he's not out there, and now the dog is, you know, property of the Bristol Pound, and he needs a home. From what I understand, this dog is fabulous. He's a really, really good boy. Of course, he's a pity. He's about 2 years old. He's super sweet. You know, he's a shelter favorite, which has probably kept him around as long as it's been. They are getting full in Bristol, and I know I've mentioned that in the last few weeks. There are several dogs there who really need out because it's getting to be a crunch for them there. I believe it was Brownie that actually went home today, which was pretty awesome. He was another one that was fairly in dire straits. But really, since January, I would love to see him in a home. There's no reason for him not to be. And if you are interested, again, he's on my Pound Posse Presents page. You know, if you're somebody who's not on Facebook, I'm just going to stop the whole process here. If you're someone who's not on Facebook and you're sitting there saying, well, you know, there's nothing I can do, wrong. You've probably got a computer, and you've probably got the internet, and you probably have an email account, and you can email me, and I will send you the information for all of these dogs, any of these dogs, if you email me at pawprints713@AOL.com. That's pawprints713@AOL.com. I'm working on a website and I'm doing a whole bunch of things, but right now I can send you links, and you can email them, share them, call your friends, have a dog adoption party. I don't care what you do. You can do it. You can share these dogs. Not being on Facebook, you're in the minority, but there's no excuse, okay? Now, back to the show. The number for the Bristol Pound is 860-584-3087. And, you know, sometimes these pounds don't answer the phone. If there's a means by which to leave a message, if they have an answering machine, leave the message, keep trying, be serious. You know, if you really are serious about adopting a dog, and a dog interests you, keep trying. Just don't give up, because you could be that dog's only chance. Anyway, the next dogs are a pair, and you know I've spoken about them before. I've shown their pictures before. Bonnie and Clyde. They're a senior bonded pair. Yes, they're like pitty hound mixes. They had been a subject for the show back in like February when I had Jody from Running for Rescues on. Poor Bonnie. They were adopted. Poor Bonnie. These people introduced them to the bird. I've told this story, and Bonnie kind of ate the bird. And it's kind of funny because it's not funny for the bird, okay? Look, I'm really not trying to make it sound like that chirp. Instead of the cat that ate the canary, I guess it's like, you know, the bird that ate, well, I don't even know what kind, the dog that ate, I don't know what kind of bird. But it even says on her pet finder link, yes, I ate a bird. There, it's out. Now we can get on with it, you know. You really have to take it in perspective. It doesn't make her a bad dog. I think that it was like, as I've said before, a serious error in judgment on the part of the people who took Bonnie and Clyde in. You don't go crazy with introductions, and you don't leave strange animals alone together. There are certain common sense things that should be common sense that maybe aren't. But, you know, again, you've got a dog in a new situation, and you know, stick a bird in its face or whatever happened. I mean, I really don't know the whole story, but bottom line is Bonnie killed the bird, and it doesn't make her a bad dog. Her and Clyde have been together their entire lives. They're a bonded pair. They're about 7 years old. Bonnie is spayed. Clyde is neutered. They're fun. They're loving. They're kid-friendly. You know, they just want to hang out. They don't want to be in a shelter. How awful can that be for them? Since at least, I want to say the beginning of the year too, they've been, except for maybe a few days in a home, they've been in a shelter. I mean, I don't know where they came from. I don't know what their backstory is, really. I don't know if anybody out there does. If you know, call me, 203-753-7593. Phone line is open. But it doesn't matter what their backstory was. They are fun, loving, bonded dogs that will just lighten up your whole life, you know. If you've got no dogs and you're going to take one dog in, what's one more? They're older. They're not going to drive you crazy. They're not going to tear up your house. They're not destructive. You know, they've got life left in them. They're not like, you know, dying and on their last legs. They are mature dogs. And, you know, for people who don't have the time or the patience for a puppy, what could be better than a mature dog who is just, you know, going to walk into your house? Yes, going to have a curve because it's a new situation, but not have to go through all of that labor-intensive, time-intensive, patience-draining stuff that a puppy's going to put you through. And like I said, you know, if you're going to do one, why not do two? And save these dogs. I mean, it's just a shame that they have been sitting in a second shelter now since this bird incident, like in February. I mean, it's months and months and months. And like I say, they're kid-friendly. You know, why not, if you've got no animals and you're thinking about a dog, just do two. It's not the end of the world. You know, make them happy. They really need to stay together. That would make my birthday, like, complete, to know that Bonnie and Clyde were safe after so long. But they are in Brantford, and the Brantford animal control number is 203-315-4125. That's 203-315-4125. The next dog, seriously urgent, okay? In Newington, the Newington Pound, they give dogs 30 days max. There is a dog there named Lux who has been there for more than 30 days, okay? They love this dog. They can't understand why he hasn't gone home yet, all right? They've given him an extension, but they're breaking their own rules, and he doesn't have forever, folks. He's only got literally a matter of a few days left. And I don't know if anybody really knows how many days he's got and when his time is truly going to be up. But he is at the top of urgent right now, because his life is going to end, and he's never going to know what it's like to be back in a home and happy and, you know, living the life he should. He's a beautiful, he looked black and white in the picture. It was kind of hard to tell because the picture that they have up of him, and that's the one that's unfortunately not on my Facebook page yet because it was a private picture. He looks black and white. The picture is of him in the kennel, behind the fence. It's kind of dark. You know, some of these pictures taken in the shelters, there's not a lot of light. There's not a lot going on. It's kind of hard if they don't take the dogs out, at least into the lobby or you know, outside or whatever. It is kind of hard, but he looks black and white. He's got these white feet. He's really cool looking. The reason why they granted him the extension is because he is a good dog. He hasn't been tested with other dogs. If you have another animal in your house, you're really going to have to bring them down and introduce them and see how it works. If you've got no other animals, jump on it. Jump on it, people. Save a life. This dog is neutered. You don't even have to go through that, I mean, how far wrong can you go? You take a dog home that really doesn't need anything but your love, your couch, and, all the playtime you can give him. Anyway, he's in Newington. That's Lux. And the number for the Newington Pound is 860-594-6232. That's 860-592-6232. Now, on to Waterbury, because what would my show be if I didn't talk about the Waterbury dogs, who are still so very near and dear to my heart. We've been okay the last couple of weeks there. There hasn't been so much of a crunch, but it's always a precarious situation. Seriously, in Waterbury, they can take in 5-6 dogs in a day and put okay to oh no. So we've got to keep the adoptions rolling there because it's important. The more dogs that go home, the more dogs that stay alive, and the less tears that I have to cry, and that's a good thing. But we've got Rocky, who is a lab mix, or he's listed as a lab mix. He's about 2 years old, and unfortunately, he has a torn ACL, and he will most likely need surgery for that. He is on pain meds, so he's not totally, suffering, but he does need veterinary attention, and, that's not something, no matter what, that they're going to be able to do for him. So he is a very, very sweet boy. He's brown and white. He's got such a face. If you look at the picture on Pathfinder, I mean, it's like one of those like dog pictures, it's like his nose right up in the camera. It's really cool. And then you look at his body shots, and he's brown and white, and he just looks like such a bundle of love. I mean, he's handsome, and he's playful, and he just wants to live his life. That's all these dogs want. Some point in their world, they were in a home, and probably not all of them were in an abusive or bad situation. They just, something happened, and, there they are. So I've got to say, if you look at his picture, you're going to fall in love. There's kind of no doubt in my mind. Get him out of there. Like I said, he does need surgery, but that doesn't have to be the end of the world. There's also Cassie, who is another pity mix. She's about a year old. She's very sweet. She seems to be good with other dogs. She's a beautiful blue-gray with soulful eyes and just a face that you want to smooch her. But she is basically at the top of the list. She's been there the longest. And you know what that means. If they get full, she's going to be the first one to go. And it just can't happen. She's been there too long. There's also, from what I understand, a very young dog there who has been treated for mange. She's in the process of recovering, but she's young and she really needs out of there. I mean, no dog belongs in a pound, but a dog with a little bit of a medical issue, a dog that is young and susceptible to things like parvo, really don't belong in the environment where they can contract anything like that. I mean, it's fair to say that, the older dogs, the younger dogs, they're the ones who do have the chance of becoming ill in a very stressful situation. So, you've got this mange puppy in Waterbury, you've got Bonnie and Clyde, who are a little older in Branford. They're the ones that you really got to watch out for. But go down to Waterbury, you can walk around the kennels outside, you can see the dogs, you can fall in love, you can take one home. If you want to call them, their number is 574-6909, and just do it. Now, one of the dogs that I've championed for a really long time, over a year now, is in my intro. She's the brown and white dog behind me, sitting in the car with the blue collar on. That's Ruby. She is spayed. She is up to date. She is leash trained. She loves to play. She came from just pure hell. That's all I can say. She was scarred. She was bred. She, had clearly just given birth when she was found. She was being chased down the street by someone who didn't want her in their yard with a stick, taken in by a good Samaritan, another friend that I've made on my journey. And she has made such strides. If you've got to look at the Pound Posse page, just to look at her picture now, because she certainly doesn't look like that. She's a chunky, beautiful, happy monkey who in the beginning you couldn't put with another dog, and now she has taken such strides. I'm telling you, it says that she can do well with other dogs once she gets to know them and trust them. It's amazing the transformation that she's made, and it does my heart so good to see that these dogs can overcome where they've come from. The only thing she needs now is a home, and I can't begin to understand why she hasn't been scooped up by somebody. I mean, initially, yeah, they said that she couldn't be with other dogs. It was an issue. If you see how beat up she was, I mean, I'm sure she was used as a bait dog. A dog like that is not going to do well with other dogs. And I have to give a lot of credit to protectors of animals, particularly Ron. I have a soft spot for Ron because he has a soft spot for Ruby, and he took her so far, took her under his wing, cared about her, made sure she got put in a situation where she is doing as well as she is now. But the final piece of her puzzle after over a year is that she needs a home. She needs someone to love her. I'm going to give honorable mention to Waldo in New Haven because someone asked me to. He's a 3-year-old pity boy. He's got the most gorgeous face. He's playful. He loves tennis balls. He needs to be in a home probably with older kids and bully experience because, some of these dogs can be a little tough for younger kids and a family without knowing how to be the boss with a pit. But the New Haven Animal Shelter is 203-946-8110. That's 203-946-8110. Last but not least, the Cheshire Pound has 4 urgents. Every pound has got their top of their list, and again, doing this as honorable mention. There's another dog named Ruby. She's a young girl, and she's a little red pitty, and she's very timid. She's very scared. She's going to need some patience. She tops their urgent list. She really needs somebody to understand her and give her love and patience, and get her safe, folks. Get her safe. The number for the Cheshire Pound is 203-571-5590. That's 203-571-5590. Now, yeah, there's a lot of dogs. You're listening to me drone on. Go look at them online. Go fall in love with their pictures, and then go fall in love with them in person. You can share them. You can advocate for them. You can do a whole lot without ever leaving, wherever it is that your computer is set up. If you're going to take the time to look at them, you can take the time to share them. There are some amazing things that have happened on Facebook in this last week or so because people take the time to share. I'm going to just say that Rado, the parvo dog from Waterbury, was adopted this week. Why? Because people network. He was an absolute success story. He would have been killed just a few short months ago just for having been sick, but people rallied and people helped him, and he had a short stay back at the pound, and a family came and got him, and he's got his chance at life, you know? That's all I ask for. You know, I'm not somebody who, you know, I want this, I want that. I want these dogs safe. It's what I'm asking you for, as just, you know, do it in for whatever reason, but I'm asking you to do it as a birthday present to me. It's not hard to share, it's not hard to network. Yeah, you may irritate some people who see like dogs starting to get posted on your Facebook page, but you know what? They'll get over it. I do it all the time. You know, unfriend me, I don't care. Unsubscribe from me, I don't care. I'm going to share my dogs, and I'm going to do it until, you know, I take my last breath, and I've said it over and over again. If you do go adopt one of these dogs, like I said, I'd love to hear about it. Not because I want the glory, but because sometimes I just need to know that I'm making that difference. I need to know that what I'm doing really does make a difference. So keep in touch with me if you'd like. pawprints713@aol.com. Go on to the Pound Posse Presents page, like it, get involved, share these dogs, do your part, help me out. This is my mission in the next 2 weeks, is to get all of these dogs safe. You know, some of these dogs, if you're connected with a rescue and you've got room, you've got fosters, do it. Take care of it. You know, get them in someplace safe. Like I was saying, there's like awesome things that have happened on Facebook. There was a dog living in a car that got rescued like within an hour of being posted. There was another dog in a bad situation that, you know, was able to get saved the same night. Facebook really works, and you know, start sharing, start following these posts. You'll see how the magic really can happen. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you for paying attention. I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs always. Happy birthday to Ashley, who graduated last week too. Give me my birthday present, folks. Get these dogs safe. That's all I'm asking for. It's not hard. There's a part 2 to my birthday wish, but that's going to be posted on my page. Keep your dogs safe for the 4th of July. I'm waiting to fade out, and it's getting dark in here, as Bugs Bunny would say.